Hey there, colleague. How in the world are you doing? Hope that you're doing super good. Hey, you ever like those origin story movies like, Wolverine Origin or whatever? I'm kind of a nerdy guy. I like those. I get a kick out of knowing like where something started. This is going to be a nerdy origin story, but way nerdier than a superhero origin story because this is about earnest and amicable argument. What? Let's just take a look over here. Let's just take a little gander. Okay, so this is a poster that hangs up in my room. There's a little piece in These 6 Things, my book, that goes into this. But this is what I mean by earnest and amicable argument. You can see a lot of different little quotes that I've appreciated from argumentative gurus like Richard Fulkerson and Lindsay Ellis and others. And basically what I always tell my students is when we argue in my class, when we have pop-up debates or whatever, we are not just trying to beat each other down. It's not what you normally think of with argument. It's this, on the one hand, very, very, very rigorous, intellectually earnest, like we're all in. We're really trying to get to the bottom of an issue. We're holding our views lightly. We're putting at risk the reality that we might not have it all figured out yet. All of that stuff goes into the earnestness part. But then the amicable part is we're going to be friends after this. We're going to be better friends after this because isn't it fun to just get to talk together about things that are really important or really interesting or really hard? Okay, so that's been the culture that I'm after. When I ask my students to argue, to debate, to discuss, I want them to realize that we're doing a very cooperative activity, even though there is clashing, and we like clashing in my class. In our pop-up debates, we long for those really cool clashes where ideas come against each other, but we're not trying to beat each other down. Every 4 years when there's presidential debates, I always tell my students, okay, you have to watch these tonight because this is the opposite of earnest and amicable argument. Like this is, I'm going to beat you, I don't care what it takes, because all that matters is that I win. Okay, so origin story time. I think the first place that I really got a taste for this was right here. Yeah, these youngsters were sophomores in high school, and they were a part of something called the Telluride Association Sophomore Seminar. And they came from all around the United States to Ann Arbor, Michigan, where I was attending college. They spent 5 weeks attending an intensive class taught by U of M professors on race in America. And they had reading assignments and essays, and so they're going to class a couple times a week, and they're living together in this house, this Telluride house in Ann Arbor. And me and Danielle, there's my friend Danielle, me and Danielle were like the two adults. We were the two college students, juniors or something. We were in charge of kind of chaperoning and facilitating the living and learning experience. So like we weren't the teachers, but we were called tutors because we would help students with their essays, but we would also help them with like interpersonal issues. We would facilitate the freestyle rap battles. No, just kidding. Those Corbin was the first person to show me that freestyle should be an Olympic sport. Corbin was, and I'm sure still is, incredible. But what was so cool about this experience, and the reason that it's the origin story for earnest and amicable argument, is because inevitably you get all these diverse people, all different experiences all across the country, all these different facets of identity coming together, living together at like 24/7, walking to classes on campus, taking this really hard class, like college level class, having to do these college level assignments. These are high school sophomores and having to figure out how to like make time in a college setting for homework and stuff. And what would inevitably happen is every single day, every single evening, these discussions would develop, just impromptu discussions about deep, hard, fascinating issues at the intersection of literature and politics and history and experience. And, at times things would get heated and we'd have to work through that. And at times we'd realize like, we're not listening to each other. How can we listen better during these heated debates? But I tell you what, that environment, when I was going back through some classroom documents and I came across this picture, I just realized that experience was so formative for me because I saw that you can argue with people that you really are coming to love, and you can argue with all the passion that you possess, and you can walk away from arguments smarter, wiser, more compassionate, humbler, having adjusted your views on an issue. That's all possible. And I think that really is the spirit of earnest and amicable argument. That's what you and I are trying to produce when we have students discuss or practice argumentation. Fundamentally, we want them to be able to live lives of long-term flourishing. And you and I know, we know that argumentation in the earnest and amicable sense is critical for that. If you appreciate the video, share it, like it, and even subscribe to the channel. I sure do appreciate it. And if you want to see more about my thoughts on argumentation, check out These 6 Things, my book. One of the things is argumentation. It's available wherever books are sold. Appreciate you. Take care.